Social media allows us to have an insight into players like we've never had before. Wesley Fofana openly comes out and said the internet's making up crap. But guess what? You're still left out of the Leicester squad, mate. It looks like you're coming to Chelsea. Got to love it. Welcome to the Kavkas View, and in today's video, we have got major stories and the press conference, key points from Thomas Tuchel. So we're going to talk about Wesley Fofana, and he's causing drama on social media. Then we've got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang agreeing personal terms, and now Chelsea apparently said, no, we're not paying more than 15 million euros for him. So now they've got a big discussion. I'm going to tell you what's happening behind the scenes with that. And finally, once again, Chelsea and Manchester United are intertwined. This time, Hakim Ziyech's return to Ajax depends on one thing. Hakim wants to go back to Amsterdam, and it's evident. Now let's get on with this. But before we get started, I want to say thank you to every single one of you, because you lot have been pushing my videos like crazy. You lot have been hitting the like button like I've been asking. You've been subscribing, and you've been following me on Instagram. Madness. We're quickly approaching 1,000 followers on Instagram, which is great. I really appreciate that. So the target for this video is simple. We set targets on here now because you lot are cooperating, and I love it. Number one, 1,000 likes. Number two, I need you lot to subscribe, all right? Literally hit the bell notification and subscribe. Why not? And finally, go and get me over 1,000 Instagram followers. DM me and I reply with a comment, and it's great. It's great interaction. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. This is going to be a quick roundup, and the roundup's going to be nice and simple. So Brendan Rodgers has decided to leave Wesley Fofana out of the squad for tomorrow's game in the Premier League. Apparently his heart's not in it. He's not fully concentrated, and it's impacting his performances. It's impacting the way he's training, so it's taking him out. But the reports from The Athletic came out that Wesley Fofana asked to be taken out. And Wesley Fofana went on Twitter, went on Instagram, and just commented, "You lot love to make up stories on my name." That's basically along the lines of what he said in French. And then he went on to delete the tweet, but it was very evident that the player is not giving up. He's not dropping tools. He doesn't want that narrative out there. He doesn't want people to say he's ungrateful. But the fact that they've taken him out of the squad shows that we are closer than people see. This deal is going to happen. I'm telling you now, Chelsea will pay the money and we will sign this player. You've got Mr. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was made to be the scapegoat when it came down to the Arsenal documentary All or Nothing, in my opinion. They made him out to be like some kind of disruptive villain. Arteta had a dossier on him. Arteta had evidence about how he was late, and they've really painted a terrible picture of the man. When in reality, when you watch the first few episodes, he was a beloved character in the whole locker room. People liked him, you could tell. People didn't even say negative things about him after he left. So now, Chelsea going back after him with Thomas Tuchel. We already know the deal. Chelsea had an initial £12 million bid rejected, and now Chelsea are telling them, we are not going to pay more than 15. And this is the fact. Barcelona want somewhere near 30 million euros. That is around about 25 million pounds. Reports were coming out yesterday that Chelsea have put in a 22 million pound bid, but Fabrizio Romano has come out and said, no, that's not true. Chelsea want Aubameyang as a stopgap, and Aubameyang has discussed great personal terms, and the personal terms are close to being agreed with Chelsea. So Chelsea are willing to match his ambition, whether it's financially or Champions League football. The player is willing to come, but would prefer to stay at Barcelona. And then it all comes down to this. And I think this is very interesting, and I think this is one that will get across the line. Finally, a lot of you adore Hakim Ziyech. A lot of you say Hakim Ziyech is a wizard. Hakim Ziyech is the creativity that we're missing in our side. And with Hakim Ziyech in the side, we will be a better team from an entertainment standpoint and a production standpoint. I, on the other hand, think Hakim is a wonderful player. I really do. I think if the team's built around him, he will be phenomenal. Phenomenal, as some would even say, right, in Portuguese. But for me, it's very interesting to see that our system does not benefit him in any way. He's 29 years old. He needs to play regular first-team football. People, when his career is going to end sooner than another player's. And the reason being is because Hakim's body is not built like other players to be playing when he's going to be 34 years old at such an aggressive league. He'll most probably have a great career somewhere in Italy, maybe in Holland with Ajax. I don't see him in La Liga or Premier League or even Bundesliga, because there's no time and space. He's going to get clattered. His body's not built like that, in my opinion. This is just my personal opinion. So it makes sense that Chelsea want to offload him now. And his move back to Ajax is solely dependent what happens with Antony in Manchester United. Manchester United had a bid of 60 million euros plus 20 million add-ons rejected. Ajax are taking them to the cleanest. Ajax have said, listen, big man, you paid 62 million pounds. Yeah, sterling. Lisandro Martinez. Do you think you're going to get Antony that cheap, this close to the deadline. You're paying up, and you're paying up big. So Manchester United apparently are on track to pay in 80 million euros plus the 20 million in add-ons, which is around about 82 to 85 million pounds. This is going to be very integral because Ajax have labeled Ziyech as the replacement for Antony, and you see the dominoes falling. The closer we get to deadlines, the closer these dominoes start to fall. And this is where things get very interesting. Do I think Ziyech should go? Yes, 100%. Do I think Antony to United is a big deal? No, not at all. Please sign him. I don't rate the player. I think he's decent. I don't think he's nowhere near as special as you lot are making him sound. So let's see how it. Chelsea versus Leeds is an interesting game, and we're at Ellen Road, and Thomas Tuchel came out in his press conference with some team news. And the team news, in my opinion, is actually pretty sad because we're 3 games into the season and we've got injury problems galore. Number one, N'Golo Kante is going to be out for several weeks. N'Golo Kante's injury is bad because NG is already struggling to play consistently. And when he plays consistently, you saw against Tottenham, the guy looked amazing. He was the best player on the pitch. He was winning tackles in the final third, carrying the ball, driving us up, energy, contagious kinetic energy going around everyone. Everyone was absorbing it and relishing it. We were another level as a team. But now if you think about it, he's out, Mateo Kovacic is out, Armando Broja is out, and Christian Pulisic has a problem with his Achilles. That's 4 players that Thomas Tuchel has basically confirmed that are out. This is not good news, people, and we need to start worrying about this. Honestly, we really do. What was very interesting for me is Thomas Tuchel's stance on Armando Broja as well, because he explained, look, it's one thing to go on loan and flourish, which, in my opinion, it's subjective whether Broja flourished on a statistical standpoint. 6 goals in 33 games. You call that flourishing, I call that average season, especially for Southampton. He played well though. He had enough symbolisms to say that, you know what, at the age of 20, he comes back to Chelsea, develops right, he could become a 15 goals a season man. He said, talent's there, but he got injured in preseason. And then he got injured in what's it called, again, at the start of this. The injuries are an issue. This is evident. We all can agree this. You could be Ronaldinho, you could be prime Ronaldo. If you're injured, you're no use to the team or the manager. There's no point in having someone on the stat sheet, oh yeah, we've got this player, but he can't play. So Broja needs to fix that because the talent's there. We all can agree. Broja is super aggressive in taking shots early. He's super driven in the sense that whenever he gets the ball, he's direct right at you. He's quick. He's got the stature to hold the ball up, which will only get better with age. And more importantly, he's got tenacity to try things. And that's very exciting and rare in young players in the Premier League. Usually, it gets coached out. It don't look like it's going to get coached out of it. So Tuchel says there is a chance for him to take it. He just has to get fit. And it doesn't look like Broja's going to be good. What I thought was very interesting was how quick Tuchel came out to almost stabilize the disharmony that was starting to get created by the fan base. And I'm partially responsible for this as well. I will hold my hands up. Because when we signed Cucurella, everyone was like, it's the end of Ben Chilwell. And I said, look, competition. Competition's great. Tuchel said, if we played flat back 4, 100% competition. Both of them are fullbacks. Both of them will be competing for one position. But in this case, we're not. In this case, Cucurella can play left centre back, and Ben is a flat out left wing back. And for me, this is very interesting, and a lot of people are trying to smooth over this. They're trying to look over this. There might be games, I'm telling you, where Koulibaly gets rested, and we're going to have a team of Ben Chilwell, Cucurella, maybe Thiago Silva, and Aspilicueta. There'll be those games, but we just need to be very careful and considerate. The versatility is great, but I want to see Cucurella on that left wing back position. He looks phenomenal, he looks consistent, and he looks like he's going to just contribute massive. Great player, you can already. The final thing that we could take away from Thomas Tuchel's press conference was about Casadelli, I think his name. As you all know, Chelsea signed a young prospect from Italy, 19 years old midfielder with Chukwuemeka and Omari Hutchinson. All of a sudden, we've bolstered and we have given our development team another layer. We've given them, raised the ceiling of quality, and now we're expanding. With this early investment, the goalkeeper from America as well, this is good. This is exciting. This is something we want to see, right? The issue here now is a lot of people have placed a lot of comparisons on this guy, and this always happens, right? The new Pirlo, the new Gattuso, the new Totti, people will start, right, naming, like, how many new Neymars have we heard of since, like, Neymar's broken out? So for me, and for Tuchel, evidently, the fact that they called him new Frank Lampard, he said, we're doing him no service. Tuchel said, we're going to be extremely patient with this kid. We're going to let him adapt to the country, learn the language, and then we're going to integrate him into the team. And this is exactly how we need to handle it. None of these Frank Lampard comparisons. Frank is a legend, man. Frank Lampard is Mr. Chelsea. Frank Lampard, the player, was one of my favorite players of all time to wear the Chelsea. Frank Lampard was phenomenal for the club. Comparing this kid to Frank Lampard is setting him up to fail. And this is what people did with Christian Pulisic when he came in and they compared him to Eden Hazard. You're setting these people up to fail because you're disrespecting the legacy that was left by the other. Without trying to, you're hyping them up to the point they have to fail. Because Lampard is a generational talent. We don't know if this kid's even going to be world class, let alone generation. Let them develop, let them cherish, and Tuchel's right. Let's not put unnecessary pressure where it's not. Finally, let's round it up. I think Chelsea are going to beat Leeds, and I think we're going to do it in convincing fashion. I think the boys are going to come out and make a statement. I think the way Leeds play is very open, it's very direct, very encouraging to bring the best out of our attributes. The team I believe we're going to put out is going to be a very interesting one. I think Mendy will start in goal, a very old back three of Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, and Azpilicueta. I think Azpilicueta comes back into the side. I think the wing backs are going to be very high level. They're going to be Reece James and Cucurella. I like that. I really do. Both are aggressive. Both can try to create something. I want Reece to go on to the next level. Reece can become an absolute monster for Chelsea. Reece is fantastic. Reece is world class. And Reece can become the best player in his position. Cucurella is going to develop, and I want to see and track how he continues to go on. A midfield two, this is where the problems start. I think it's going to be Jorginho again. 3 games. First 3 games, he starts. It's fine, but we need to get some cover there, ASAP. In the midfield, 2 is out of Ruben or Conor Gallagher. I think Ruben's going to start. He earned himself a position. I don't like him in the midfield too. I really don't. I would prefer him in the 4-3-3 on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side like he was under Sarri. He looked phenomenal in that role. Then we're going to have Money Mace, and up to front, we're going with with Raheem Sterling and Kai Havertz. No N'Golo Kante, no Kovacic. Both of them are injured. Broja's out. Pulisic's out. We might see Callum Hudson-Odoi and maybe a little bit of Hakim Ziyech in the second half. That's my opinion. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I hope you lot enjoyed it. Peace out. I'm out.